If you're a big swim team and you like to order a lot of gear, maybe you ought to check out Swim Outlet Team Division for these reasons. Swim teams receive a 10% discount on bulk orders. Swim teams or organizations get an 8% commission on referred sales. You'll also like their customization services, which is affordable and available at all times during the year for all team gear. With over 50,000 items in stock, you can get most anything you want. Swim Outlet Team Division. You need to try it out. You'll be glad you did.
This is the Morning Swim Show for Tuesday, April 30th, 2013. I'm your host, Jeff Cummings. Kent Nicholas is bringing a few of his buddies to Arizona this week to participate in a special 4-day lake swim that will take them all across the Grand Canyon State starting tomorrow. It's a challenge that is certainly not for the faint-hearted, and to talk about it, Kent joins us now in the Finis Monitor from Mesa, Arizona. Kent, it's great to see you. How are you today?
Good, thanks, Jeff.
So, the Arizona S.C.A.R Swim Challenge is going across 4 lakes. It's the Saguaro Lake, the Cactus Lake, Apache Lake, and Roosevelt Lakes. Tell us about each of these lakes and the specifications about them and how far you'll be swimming in each of these.
The first 3 lakes, Saguaro, Canyon, and Apache, we start early in the morning. Saguaro and Canyon are relatively the same distance, 9 to 9.5 miles. The rivers or lakes do wind around a bit, so the distances vary. But we start at the buoy line before a dam and then finish at the buoy line. So it's a lot. And then the last swim is at Roosevelt. It's a 10K, and we're going to start before sundown. But everyone will have glow sticks, and the paddlers will have glow-in-the-dark necklaces and bracelets, and so we end up doing a night swim, and that's a 10K, and we finish under the Roosevelt Bridge, which is pretty cool. It's nice out there.
That is fun, but I don't know. Those first 3 sound pretty daunting. You said 9 miles, is that right?
Well, it's actually worse than that, Jeff. The first 2 are between 9 and 9.5. Apache Lake, it's a monster swim. It's between 15 and 17 miles. Last year when we did it, it took between 8 and 8.5 hours to swim. It can get windy out there. It's tough to access that lake. It's a dirt road access, so it's pretty primitive. It's the Wild West.
And we'll be talking about who will be joining you in a minute, but tell me, how many swimmers have signed up for this?
I was surprised. 31 people from all over have signed up. A few people from out of the country, South Africa, Ireland, and Australia, and then people back east from Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York, and then there's a core group of swimmers in Colorado and California. They're going to be joining us, and all very experienced swimmers.
Now, obviously, a lake swim is less treacherous than an ocean swim. You don't have man-eating animals and stingrays and things like that. But will you have other people there, like safety people in kayaks and stuff? And I would imagine they need to have people there to help feed them, too.
That's the biggest part of my job, as I see it, to make it a safe swim. We actually have better than a 1-to-1 ratio of kayakers to swimmers. So each swimmer is going to have at least a kayaker that carries their food. Every swimmer feeds differently. They might be on a 20-minute feeding cycle, or they might be on a 30-minute feeding cycle, and that's up to the kayaker and swimmer to coordinate that between themselves. As you can imagine, a lot of people in Arizona have never been involved in an open water swim, but I have about 40 people that volunteered to come out and support the swim and get behind it, and that's it's been really rewarding.
Well, as someone who finds 200 yards of swimming a long way to go, I have to say this is a crazy idea, but I imagine it's going to be a lot of fun having all these 31 people just doing a nice little fun swim 4 days in a row.
It should be fun. I mean, we have the world record holder coming from the Catalina Channel, Grace Vanderbilt, who's an awesome swimmer, and she's going to do a lot of good things in the future. David Barra, who did the Triple Crown in one summer. Elizabeth Fry, who swam the English Channel, did a double. I think the oldest female or maybe person to ever do that. I'm not positive. Don't hold me to that. But she's just the whole load of swimmers is really very well qualified.
How did you get these well-accomplished open water swimmers to come out and do this?
I think they talk to each other in social media sites. I put a little bit out there about it. Having been associated with the Catalina Channel Federation and the Santa Barbara swim group, I went to their banquets and met some people and talked to them, and then word spreads, and it's a unique swim. There are not many swims like this, not in this environment, not with the temperatures that we have. Arizona is fortunate that we warm up early in the open water season, so the guys back east think, well, this is great, we're going to come out there and hit it. And the people in California, although their ocean water temperatures are ideal to train, it's early season. It's a couple months before the big New York swim, the Manhattan swim, and it's before the big channel swims for either Catalina or the Santa Barbara channel.
Are you going to be swimming in all four of these lake swims?
As much as I'd like to, I'm going to be on the lookout, making sure everything's working right. If things are clicking, I'll probably jump in and swim a bit. But really, this is for the people that love the sport, and I want to make sure it's safe for them.
Well, you're an accomplished open water swimmer yourself. You've traversed some major waterways throughout your life. Tell us about some of your highlights as an open water swimmer.
You know, I feel like a rookie to these guys. I really do. I did my first 10-mile open water swim in '98 at Seal Beach. I enjoyed it a lot. It was a challenge for me. I consider myself a sprinter, but as I got older and slower, I just thought, well, I'll just swim longer and no one will care. But my first major swim was Catalina, and had a good crew and had a fantastic observer, Tina Neal, who really encouraged me and encourages me to this day to do some interesting swims and challenges me. Then going to New York to do MIMS, that's a tough swim to get into because it's a very limited field. It's a unique swim, and I felt fortunate to be selected to get involved in that, or at least in the lottery. And then there's the thing called the Triple Crown, which is, you know, Catalina, Manhattan, and the English Channel. So I've got the English Channel ahead of me, and we'll see how that goes. But I feel pretty good about it.
When do you think you're going to be able to go over to England and try to swim the English Channel?
Well, I'm going to leave for England late July, and then my window is July 28th through August 7th. And the reason they give you a window to swim is it's weather dependent. Your boat captain tells you if it's good weather or bad weather, and that's a big factor. There's people that go over there, sit on the beach in Dover, and come home never having done the swim, and I hope that doesn't happen to me. It could, but I'm going to keep my fingers crossed on that.
Yes, keep your fingers crossed and have good thoughts. So it's a lot of money and time to go all the way over there and not make it happen.
Well, I think a lot of it is the swim, but it's getting ready for the swim and the people that are involved in the sport. Like I said, they know each other. They will see each other in a variety of places around the world. A lot of people know Ned Dennison from Ireland, although he's not Irish. They go to his cold water swim camp to prepare for the English Channel. A lot of people go to Colorado for the Horsetooth. David Barr is attracting a lot of people to the 8 Bridges swim in the Hudson, and so it's a small group, it's a friendly group, and so if the swim doesn't happen, that's no big deal. I'd chase it the following year, but I'm enjoying the process.
Well, I want to go back to this S.C.A.R swim challenge here. And obviously, you know, when anybody does a 9-mile swim, they're pretty much going to be pooped at the end of that day. And the last thing they want to do is wake up early in the morning and do another one. What do you think is the key for these swimmers to be able to get over the previous day's swim and get ready for that next one?
I think everybody's going to be different. Certainly after a long swim, or at least for most swims, people celebrate and get crazy. and I expect these swimmers will be a little more subdued, get ready for the next day, watch what they eat, watch what they drink. It's hot out there, and as you know, Jeff, in Arizona, the sun can really wear you down. And it's a mental, well, it's a cliche, but being mentally tough is part of the physical training, and these people have done long swims, and they're just going to have to push through it. And there's a lot to see, though, out there. Although the water's not crystal clear by any means, there's a lot to see as you swim, whether it's wildlife. There was a bighorn sheep on the canyon wall last year. A couple weeks ago, my wife saw a bald eagle dive in for a trout about 15 feet in front of me. So the scenery is truly magnificent. The canyons are fairly narrow, so that will keep their mind occupied with, wow, this is cool, I'm seeing a lot of different things, which is in contrast to swimming in the ocean, where although you see a lot of things underwater and wildlife, when you look up, it's basically the horizon, your kayaker, and perhaps the observation boat. So they're different swims. Neither one is better than the other, but being mentally tough is a big deal.
Well, you're definitely making the lake swim a little bit more enticing for me, to be able to look up and see something different every minute or so.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And then the night swim, I mean, at Roosevelt, that's the lake that's farthest away from Phoenix. I think we're going to have about a 3/4 moon. The forecast for weather is going to be clear, so there'll be a lot of stars out. And it truly is an amazing swim, and it will be a nice, I don't want to say a 6-mile cruise, but it'll be nice to turn over on the back and say, wow, how lucky am I to be out here in this environment.
I'm sure. So this is the first year of the first official year of this swim challenge. Where did the idea come about?
Well, I needed a place to train and train long, and for my preparation for the Manhattan Marathon swim. Although San Diego's not that far away, it would be pretty taxing. I've got young kids, so to drive back and forth to San Diego to train would be a little rough. And just looking at the maps, I saw these lakes, and it just made sense to me. And so I got in contact with the best swimmers I knew in Arizona that were not afraid of the open water. All of them better than me, and said, you guys want to join me? This is what I'm thinking about doing. They did, and that's how it started.
Very informal beginnings, and probably I'm sure it's going to grow to be something that will attract a lot more people probably next year.
It could. It doesn't have to, but the sport is growing by leaps and bounds, and it's a good place for if people are need a change from the pool. It's a good change, and the camaraderie is there, and a little bit different than racing in the pool. People aren't really out to kill each other or beat each other. One swimmer indicated that he's at that point in his life where he enjoys swimming with people and not necessarily against people, and I thought that was right on the money when it comes to these types of swims.
Yeah, that is a very interesting perspective to put on this. Kent, thanks so much for joining us today. Congratulations on getting this organized. I'm sure it was no small feat, and best of luck on all 4 days of this, and then also good luck on your English Channel swim.
Thanks, Jeff. Nice talking to you.
All right, so that was Kent Nicholas joining us for today's morning swim show, and we wish him the best of luck for the Arizona S.C.A.R Swim Challenge. I'm Jeff Cummings. Thanks for watching.